I don't know, what do you think?
I like it.
You do?
Yeah.
What do you think of the body style?
It's cool.
All right, here it is, the CR18P EVO from Hobby Plus. But let's get into some details about this first. On the box it says waterproof electronics, but on the other side of the box, as you'll see, it's PPX4, and it says that in the manual as well, and they don't recommend riding it like a submarine, so have some fun with it in the water at your own risk. So the feature list is pretty good. You have portal axles front and rear with metal gear inside. You have a 2-speed gearbox also with metal gears. Now you have a 4-channel ESC, which is really good. You have a fully functional light system, front headlights with low and high beam. You have rear light, you have a brake light, you have signal lights. Some people like that, some people don't. You have a reverse light. You have spotlight switch, so if you attach a optional LED light for the spotlights, it also has hazard lights. You have a beadlock wheel and tire stock from the factory, 1.2 inch. You have a 130 brushed motor. You have a chassis mounted servo with a panhard bar. You have a low center of gravity weight bias to the front, which is great. It has the PPX4 standard water resistance electronics, as I mentioned earlier, and you have an aluminum chassis rail. 1.2 millimeter thickness painted Lexan body. I love the silver scheme on this thing. It looks fantastic, very retro, kind of 80s feel to it. And you also have a pretty good battery, like I mentioned, up to 45 minutes runtime. I haven't tested that myself, so your mileage may vary. But the steering angle on this is really nice, up to 45 degrees, and you'll see how this thing turns later in the video. All right, enough talk. Let's take a look at this thing. And here it is. Wow, what a showstopper. I love that 80s, 70s, 80s conversion van look. It has almost like a Chevy style, but it's not. I love the look. I love the paint scheme. This is the silver version. I think it comes in a yellow as well. And this is the transmitter. It reminds me of my FMS Land Cruiser transmitter. When I saw this van on Fair RC, I knew I had to have it with a transmitter and the 2-speed gearbox. Hell yeah. And here are some accessories. Here's the USB charger, pretty basic. Comes with a standard wheel wrench, as a lot of RCs do. They have a Phillips head screwdriver. I really haven't used it though. And here is the manual. This is the undercarriage of it. I believe it shares a lot of the same chassis and parts with other EVOs in their lineup. And one thing to note, removing the body requires pulling these pins off, which is located at the back of the vehicle underneath, and it opens clamshell style, which is fine. But it's a little hard for my fat fingers to get into, but I guess you get used to it. It doesn't come with oil-filled shocks. These are friction shocks, so I'm kind of spoiled. I'm used to oil-filled shocks, so it'll be interesting to see what it's like to drive once we get it out there a little bit later in the video. Here's a closer look at the chassis. You'll see the battery in the back, the gearbox in the middle, and the motor all the way up front with the ESC. Should be a nicely balanced rig to drive. We're gonna go for a drive on our RC playground course in a little bit. Time for a quick lighting demo. The channel 4 button will be your button to activate the lights. You got the lights on, the headlights. Hit it again, you got the high beams. Not really showing well on my camera right now. Hit it again, you got the hazards. Hit it again, it turns it off. Left turn signal, right turn signal. Then you turn it around, take a look at the back. You have the rear lights are on. You have the left turn signal and the right turn signal. Pretty cool setup. Let's check out some accessories. Fair RC also sells optional Batrazzi 1-inch Steely wheels with brass inserts. These are black, pretty cool. Fair RC also offers a 3D printed spare rear tire and bumper kit with exhaust pipe, no tire included. And they also sell the optional spotlight kit, which goes on the front bumper and lights up the spotlight and the bottom part of that front bumper, as you'll see. But they're not going to go on the silver. They're going to go on the black body. That's right, the optional black body you can purchase from Fair RC. More about this in another video, so make sure you subscribe. It's getting wet out there. Let's go for a drive. And look how fast this sucker goes in second gear. It is amazing. You definitely see a little bit of that bounce though from the friction shocks. Not a big deal. You don't really need oil-filled shocks, but it's nice to have. I really can't get over how cool this thing looks. Really looks slick. I think it's time to head to the RC playground course. Off we go. Look at that second gear speed. It's pretty quick. Reminds me of the FMS LC80 as far as speed is concerned. All right, so we're gonna try and tackle the Highlands area first. Let's see how it does. Most of my vehicles do well here without any issues. So there you go. In stock form, great. It climbed that edge just perfectly. All right, let's see how it does on the descent. It's doing fine, and down it goes. Gee, no issues there. Wow, look at that conversion van just doing what it just did. All right, over the little rabbit bridge. Oh my gosh, you can see how bouncy that sucker is. All good. And onto broken concrete pieces. All right, looking pretty solid. No issues there. Wow, actually it's doing pretty good. Better than I expected it to be. Head over to the desert. Now it's a little wet out here, so it's a little bit more traction as the sand and concrete mixture gets a little moist. Over some lava rock, down to the waterfall, into the riverbed. Here we go. No issues there. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Passing the mill, passing the ducks, under the bridge. All right, let's go through the national park, Ranger Bob Station, past the farm. The cones were set up for a movie we're making. Stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like this video for more about that. All right, ascending the rocks. Let's crawl some rocks here. I'm not too sure how we'll do here. All right, it's actually doing pretty good considering. Almost high center there, and down we go. Now we're heading in the opposite direction. This is more of an incline the way our property is laid out. All right, this is going to be a little more challenging going up. I'm probably going to high center on this rock like I do. Yep, like I've done it with other RCs. If I don't get the right line, I'm gonna try and correct. There we go. A little bit of a push, a little bit of throttle, and we should be out, and we're out. All right, the line is looking good. Wow, this thing can crawl for a 80s looking conversion van, whatever. It's pretty awesome. All right, let's keep on driving through the playground, down through the gravel pit. No problem there. Over some wet rocks, and to some wood chucks I have laid out. Shouldn't be an issue here. Probably gonna high center that one if I don't hit it right. There we go. Over some wood pieces. Oops, again, drive the right line, Armin. Come on, here I go. Awesome. Passing Buckbeak the bird from Harry Potter. All right, over some more wood. This shouldn't be a problem here. It is wet, so I expect a lot of these pieces to be pretty slick, but these tires are doing pretty good. Now it's been raining for the last 2 days, so these surfaces on the wood are pretty grimy and slick, so I don't know how these tires are going to grab. These are the factory tires. Definitely going to struggle. That's the little dragon's lair we have set up. Oh man, it is not climbing this section really well. Okay, I think it's just too slick. Let's move on. All right, let's see how this can overcome this obstacle near Zombie Bridge. All right, so this is still pretty slick. Again, I keep saying that, but it's overcoming it pretty good. As long as I keep my line right. Oops, can't recover. All right, let me start over. All right, approaching again. No problems here. Scaling that pretty quick. Finding the right line. Man, dropping that tire again. Time to recover. Keep it going, keep it going. Yes, it should be fine from this point on. Awesome. Here we are at the Zombie Bridge. It is struggling to get over this one brick piece here. All my other vehicles can do it, even in the wet. So I wonder if it's just a tire thing, it's just not grabbing. I don't know, all kinds of factors. There we go, a little bit more throttle seemed to help. Gotta get my line right. I gunned it too hard, knocked over some zombies. I guess that's a good thing, right? Let's try again. All right, we're back at it thanks to the hand of God, moving along. Okay, how are we gonna do here? We should be able to traverse this bridge with no issues. There we go, got the line right, the tires where they should be. Always a balancing act through here. Get those tires in the right place and we're good. Down the descent, off we go. By the way, yes, those are little zombies. Stay tuned for something cool coming. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. On to the slalom area, not too bad. The turning radius on this is really good. Driver error there. Onwards through the course. Let's head to the natural bridge. Most of my vehicles climb this pretty easily, even in the wet. So let's see how these factory tires grab. I don't expect any problems. Here we go. It's looking good, looking good. And we are up there and over. Nice job. Awesome. Continuing our scenic drive through our national park. Ooh, did I just spot Sasquatch? Rewind the video if you want to see that again. Continuing on, here we go, scaling some river rock. Didn't really do a big climb there. We're gonna head back over the gravel pit. Took it no problem. Again, those bumpers definitely are an issue sometimes depending on the approach. Let's head to the desert. It is moist, so I expected the grip a little bit better. Since the sand is not loose, no problems whatsoever. Hit some cactus, oops. And looking good, guys. Wow, pretty impressive. All right, no problem at the bridge. No issues with the bumpers there. Let's head on to this tree obstacle. So the tree climb is a work in progress. We are not done, it's not a finished product, so please excuse the messy look. We have shingles right now in place of what we thought we're gonna do. Anyway, let's climb this thing and see how it does. The shingles are pretty grippy, so I expect it to do okay. Oops, maybe that approach is definitely, obviously, too much for this van. I have not been able to get any of my vehicles up that first part, so we're gonna go up the other way, and wow, it's actually climbing pretty darn well. The shingles are not lined up, they're not secured, so it could be a crash any moment now. But looks like it's stuck on some netting underneath. Again, that netting is gonna go away. We're gonna add some structure underneath. What are we gonna do? Okay, let's do it. Oh wow, nice and easy. Nice and easy. Nothing stopping this van. Wow, except for this overhang of shingle. Let me move that a little bit out of the way. Try and get it up over this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to help it. I'm gonna push that shingle down. There we go. Push the shingle down so the rear tires can get over. There we go. Now it should come back. Awesome, look at the send. Wow, nice and straight down. Ooh, I don't know if it's gonna make it down this one. This is a pretty steep slope. Most of my vehicles tip over here, if not all of them do. I expect this one to as well. Is it gonna tip? Yep. So if you want to see this finished product one day, this tree obstacle will be done. So make sure you subscribe. All right, one more time? One more time? No, not gonna make it. All right, moving on. So far out of the box, I'm really impressed with how this thing crawls. A van of all things. Well, let's end this drive with a speed run and turning radius test. This thing will turn and it drives really nice. It's nice and quick. It reminds me of the FMS Land Cruiser as far as the gearbox. It has that similar low gear and high gear feel. I don't know if it's the same things they're using, but as you can see, the turning radius too on this thing is pretty awesome. Very bouncy, definitely the friction shock life. Easy to upgrade to oil-filled shocks. Final thoughts? Well, I go by 3 criteria: fun factor, drivability, and looks. Let's go with the looks. I mean, it looks great. We already know that. How does it drive? For ready to run, it drives really good right out of the box. You can see how well it crawls in my RC playground. Pretty impressive. Now, the fun factor? Hell yeah, this is fun to drive. The 2-speed transmission from slow gear for crawling to the 2nd gear for fast runs and keeping up with you on a trail, absolutely fun. I recommend this for anyone looking for a fun, unique looking RC. Highly recommend. Go check it out on Fair RC. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.